Hi everybody, welcome to another segment with Dave and myself, and we're going to show you today how to turn everyday things into a healant, protectant, ways and means to defend against more gallons and a whole host of other issues. Okay, I'm sure you've seen the ads on TV and everything else. For 6 easy payments of 20 bucks a month, we can get you this power thing that will extract and, make kitchen sink obsolete. Okay, instead of paying 120 bucks a month, even if you got the worst blender in the world, because in this advertisement when they show you a blender running at low speed, won't cut hardly anything, and then they show you this high-tech extractor that you can spend zillions of dollars for that doesn't do any more than that blender. If you run a blender at high speed, it'll do the same thing as these extractors. But I'm just going to show you another way of doing it. All right, you're going to go buy yourself a mason jar, or this is an old tomato sauce jar. Okay, now what you're going to do is you're going to take some tape and you're going to tape the ends, okay, just like that. Well, tape it counter because you're going to be screwing stuff down. So what you're going to do is tape it counter, okay, run it about 1.5 times.
You mean counterclockwise, to go with the thread when you're tightening it.
Right, so there you go. Now Dave's back, but by the way, I gotta tell you, for all you people that want to see Dave, he got married. So now he is, a candidate for, alimony and all that other stuff.
Here's just to show it right there.
There you go. He's just going to show you now he's really married. All right.
Tony never lies.
That's right. Well, I try not to anyway. All depends who I'm talking to. All right. Now, these are the components of a blender. Now I always use osterizers. I like osterizers. I think they're a great machine. For the money, you can go to any used outlet, retail, second-hand place. You can buy them for next to nothing, depending on what they are. The only fault I find with the osterizers, they have been around for a long time. They're a solid machine. Like I said, they're metal on metal. The only thing that they've done is they've cheapened the blades. I don't know what's happened to them, but other than because they don't last as long. Either that, or I just beat the hell out of these things too much, one or the other. But anyway, so you got your sealer. What you're going to do is, when you do this, your seal is going to go on the bottom, not the top. Because if you put it on the top, it's going to be in your mix. Trust me, I know. I did it. Alright, so take a piece of tape. You're covering the hole. Take another piece of tape. Okay, make an X or a cross, however way you want to define it. Okay, so now you seal it. So see it's sealed. Now, put your seal next. Do not, again, let me repeat, do not put it on the outside here, because this thing is going to produce so much torque and centrifugal force that it will shred that seal. First time I did it, I had rubber pieces all over the place and I had to throw away this stuff. Okay, so then throw it in there. So now you see it. Okay? Now you see it. Now what we're going to do, we're going to make something. Where the heck can I put it? Aha. We're going to use cooking wine. Okay, again, for those of you who can't afford alcohol in Canada because we're taxed to death on alcohol products, you can go buy some perfume, gas, or butane lighters. Go to the Asian market, get yourself a alcohol rice wine cooking. It's 18-19%, or something like that, proof. Yeah, it's a 38 proof. So for what we're going to do is good. What's going to happen here is this is going to produce a centrifugal force, and it's going to create the extraction that you're looking for. Now I'm going to add in here, I forgot my spoon, but that's okay, I'm going to use my hand, Rooibos tea. Rooibos, when you extract it, becomes a lot stronger and the antioxidant properties are a lot higher. Now you can do this with anything. You can do this with black pepper, you can do it with garlic, you can do this with anything. Okay, see how much I'm putting in there? I'll probably put 3-to-1 ratio. Okay, 3 parts of the alcohol, 1 part the herb. Now, sometimes when you do this thing, because it's putting out so much torque, it may have a tendency to leak on the side. So, you may have to make some adjustments on it. Okay, so here we go. We put this on here. Okay, screw it on. Screw it on tight. And tight. And it will seal. Okay, there you go. She's sealed. Let's hope. Now, I've got a 400 watt unit. Osterizers make, I think, 1,000 watt units. And again, I like the 700 watt. For some reason, maybe it's a psychological thing, but the 700 watt seems to have more power than the 1,000 watt on the one I use. Now, see here? You got that sealed. Not a big deal. It'll perforate it and puncture it. Once you get it lined up, there. Okay, she's in there. Now, there you go. She's set. Now, the reason why you're putting this here, like I said, is because when this thing starts to spin, it will create a lot of force on this thing, and this stuff will leak out through the bottom, so you're sealing the bottom. So there you go. Now, I'll turn this thing on. She's on high speed, and we're going to let this run for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to carry on. So we're going to pause the video while this is running. But all we're doing is we're going to let it spin. Okay, we let this thing run for 10 minutes, and as you can see, the Robos is done. We've extracted it. Now we're going to filter it. Now, you can do this with almost anything. You can do this with pepper and alcohol, garlic and alcohol, green tea, rose, any herb you want to do this with, you can do this. Okay, what happens is, like I said, this thing's warm and hot. You will so you see the steam coming out of it a little bit. Okay, so when you handle this, remember this thing is hot. Okay, the heat and the centrifugal force of this has pulled stuff out of it. So now we're using this. See how red that is? There's your extract. Okay? And you just made it for $3, this device. So instead of spending $120 and sending 60 easy payments on buying some nonsense that doesn't really apply, it's a lot of gimmickry, a lot of bullshit. It's what it is. Now, the stronger the blender, obviously the less work it has to do, but a lot of you have these weak powered blenders. So I'm just showing you now how to put your blender on steroids. You got those anabolic things going on there, you got the muscle in the machine. Now, Dave pointed out to me, okay, this is an old tomato jar, which you can do this with. Now, any mason jar will work. As long as it's got the thread, it'll fit the bottom end of this thing. Now, for these 125 mil, these things are great for pulverizing or powdering things. You want to take a herb and turn it into a powder. You want to use something like this. If you put a liquid in this thing, it's too much force and the stuff will come squirting out of it. The 500 mil and the 1 liter will work great for just about on anything. This, I like these things because they're about 20 ounces and they seem to be ideal. Some of them are a little wider. So what happens is when they sit in the machine, they don't seem to be as top heavy. If you put too much in there, it will squirt it out the bottom. As you can see, the bottom is dry, the seal is held. Okay? So nothing is leaked out. And as you can see, there's no rubber, and it sealed it perfectly, so we didn't have stuff floating all over the place. Now remember, when doing this, do not, under any circumstances, put that rubber part in here. Because like I said, after 10 minutes, that rubber will let go. All that debris, all that material will keep hitting that rubber, creating a friction. Again, because it's a centrifugal force, it'll wear it down and splinter it into pieces, and you'll have rubber pieces all over the place. If you do it, and that does happen, throw away your stuff, because now you've got a rubberized component in your mix. So, now, as you can see, look at that, eh? There's your Robos extract. Now, again, be careful with it, because it is hot. Now, look at that. I just saved you a ton of money. And a lot of you are having respiratory issues with more gallons. Okay? So, if you're having chest infections, what you do is open up some garlic. Take the whole bulb, throw it in one of these jars. Okay, throw it in either the 20-ounce jar or the 1-liter jar. Fill it up to about halfway, because you got to compensate for the fact that when the stuff comes out, there's going to be some expansion. Again, let it run for about 10 minutes, then strain it. And what you do is put that stuff in a glass jar. Do not put it in plastic. This stuff's very much alive and very much potent. And then when you use it, only use a half a teaspoon increment. You do not need to take a dose of this stuff. It is extremely strong and extremely powerful. And there you have it. We have just made a extract with rooibos. Now you can do this with marigold, you can do this with peppermint, rosemary, paw d'arco, cat's claw, whatever you like. You can, and it takes about 10 minutes and you've got a full dose of whatever.
Quick question about the mason jars. So right now we've, which one was it? We use this one for the extraction.
Right.
If someone wanted to do, say, another extraction after that, can they just go ahead with it? Can they go ahead with the base, with the seal that you already made?
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's a good question. This will hold for probably about 4 or 5 extractions before you have to replace it. And again, depending on if you don't overload it. If you overload it, it's going to blow it out. Trust me, it will do it. I've done it, so you've got tape flying all over the place. This will hold probably, depending on the tape you use. I got this dollar store stuff and it isn't worth a fiddler's fart. But for today, I mean, you can use it and it will use, but you'll be replacing it a lot. Once the stuff gets wet on the inside, get rid of it, wipe down the rim, and then retape it. Just make sure you do a counter, because like I said, if you're screwing the stuff this way, you've got to tape counter, so as it screws down, it doesn't undo your tape, okay? And it will perform a better seal. Usually 1 to 1.5, well, 1.5 to maybe 2 times around is more than adequate. As you can see, that made a nice, tight, snug seal. Again, the thing got hot. I mean, it didn't get really overly hot, but it got hot. We extracted rooibos, you know, and it's in an alcohol base. The alcohol in it will have gone down, so those of you who have an issue with alcohol, you'll find that it has reduced it dramatically. I like the cooking wine from Asia because they add salt to it. Salt allows these components to penetrate deeper into the cells and acts as a preservative as well. So it's a win-win on that one. So you've got this here to, again, it's an easy fix. You can do this with anything. You can make soup with this. I was just telling Dave before the show, I'll take a raw egg, throw it in there, I'll take some gelatin, and put some turmeric in there, some garlic, some salt and pepper, and put the water in there, seal it up, and let it run for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, you've got the best soup going. A hot summer day, you know, it's really hot, you don't feel like cooking, slap it in the blender, away you go, you've got a nice warm soup. In the winter months, same thing. If you want to turn, we did a video on protein using a gelatin and an egg. Do the same thing, put it in there. It'll take less time. It's hot. You don't have to boil any water. The water will heat up. The gelatin will dissolve. You can add your creatine in there if you want. You can add L-leucine in there if you want. For those of you who want being more anabolic, you don't want those big muscles and, you know, pecs and shoulders and all that crap. You can do that as well. You can also make a fermented vegetable. You know how we juice the dandelion, parsley, and watercress? You got all that left over, or put some of that, put about half in there, add water, or add vinegar, sorry, add white vinegar, you can add white vinegar, it's okay, and add your maple syrup, blend that for about a minute or so, put it in another glass jar, and repeat the process, and let them sit in the fridge for a couple weeks, 3 days to a week, and start eating them. You have just made a fermented vegetable. For all you vegans out there who think you're eating something orgasmically organic, and you're not, and you're eating adulterated organics with genetics involved, because all your organics have an adulteration of GMOs, and plus they put glyphosates in the soil, so you're stripping your your nutritional value of these organics. When you ferment the vegetable, you will break down that fiber, which the fiber can deplete your body of the nutrients because it attracts them. When you ferment them, what happens is it releases more of the nutrition and breaks down the sugar. So then that fiber you're consuming will break down, dissolve, and pass through. You will find that it will make a big difference in your digestive tract. Those of you who are meat eaters, you're the heavy carnivore type, okay? I'm an omnivore. We're going to talk one day about the omnivore diet. This is the diet you can eat anything you want. Whether you're vegetarian, non-vegetarian, meat eater, you can eat whatever you like. The only thing you can't eat is organics, chemically treated food, chemically adulterated foods, you know, certain things like that. But you can eat meat, you can eat potato, you can eat chicken, you can eat grass if you want. You can eat whatever you want. You can eat it raw or cooked. That's the omnivore diet. But anyway, put them in there, let them ferment. that breaks down the fiber, and you can consume it. Now you're going to get the nutritional value of these vegetables, especially like broccoli and collard greens and chard. They're very high fiber vegetables that do not digest properly, and they do form roughage, but you lose nutrition with them. Ferment them first before you consume, and you'll get a better result. It'll clean the colon, it'll clean the stomach right up. You'd be surprised, especially like I said, you have your meat eaters, you get congested after a while, it will break it down. And the other bonus about that is this: it will take out a lot of the more gallons that you're eating and consuming in your intestinal tract. You'll find a lot of these polymers and things will start coming out the backside. So again, you got to deal with, you're dealing with more gallons from the particulates in the air. You're exposed to them, they're inside of you, and you need to develop a way of making yourself fortified against this condition. All right? So again, until the engineers clear the skies and clear the land of the genetically modifications, we will constantly be inflicted with this. All right. Anything else, Dave, you want to say? All right. Till the next segment, to your health, eh? See you in a bit. Okay. All right. What we've done, what David and myself have done, for those of you again in Europe and other parts of the world that are watching our videos, is I get a lot of times that you can't understand what I'm saying because I'm speaking Canadian, and that's okay. I'm speaking Canadian, eh? All right. We're putting the instructions here for you guys in other countries who don't understand Canadian, that so that you can see how to do it. Okay? And we even got people in the United States that don't understand Canadian, so don't feel bad. So anyway, here it is to give you an idea of what we did. So you have a...
So left to right, top to bottom.
Yeah.
Those are the steps.
Yeah, left to right, top. There you go. See? And then we even got it in English. I think it's a universal English, so even those people in the UK who don't understand Canadian English can see this.
What's this one here? You're just showing the seal
Yeah,
itself?
the seal, yeah. Okay, that's what it's going to look like. That's what it looks like after we perforate it with the hole, so you know exactly what to do. Okay?
Just recording the instructions here.
Yeah. So now you have an idea. Because like I said, I get sometimes on the videos that you guys do not understand me, maybe I'm speaking too fast or whatever, and that's okay. So we're trying to do this. I was trying to get a board, I forgot to get it one to illustrate certain things, but that's okay, I can't draw anyway. So anyhow, this will give you an idea what to do. So I'll make it clear for you, all right? So for those of you who do not understand Canadian, here you are.
I guess, so mason jar, wrapped in tape. Those are the pieces that you need.
That's right, for the bottom.
So there's your first string of tape.
Second one.
Yeah.
We put the ring in first. Remember, the ring in first, then the blade. I know I'm going to get videos saying to me, I put this in there. I said, okay, start over. Then, again, screw it on. There it is. It's all screwed up, ready to go. And that's what it looks like after we've taped it, like we showed during the video. It'll be sealed up. Once you put it in your unit, it will put a hole in it, which is normal. Now you know it's sealed and it will work. Okay, so now you have it. Now you guys are going to be the kitchen alchemists. You're going to save money. You're not going to spend 6 easy payments of 120 some odd zillion dollars to buy something that you can do for $3. Okay, like I said, play with it. The mason jars I do know work for sure. They've got to be threaded to fit your. They got to be threaded to fit your bottom end. Now, let's say you break your blender part, the glass part. Once that's thrown in the blender away, now you have means of using jars to do the same thing. All right, you can make butter with it. You can do all kinds. Anything you could do with a blender, you could do with this. So don't get caught up on these gizmos and gadgets that really are there to bleed your wallet. When you see these gurus on TV, these medical bastards and everything else that's out there, hang on to your wallet, because 9 chances out of 10 they're selling you a line of horse manure. Okay, they're paying me $1 million to sell this product. This product will put hair in your chest, make a man out of you. You got to buy it because I get endorsed. That's what it's all about. So again, don't get caught up in this. I'm in the industry. It's a whore. It's a prostitute. It will sell you and tell you whatever shit you want to hear. That's the way it is. Okay? Probably in the health food industry today in the United States and Canada, more so in the United States, I would say probably 10% of the products in there do something. The rest are fluff. And you really got to read the labels because they're adding like I say, propylene glycol, antifreeze, and all kinds of shit in their stuff, coloring agents, metal agents, soy agents, and all this stuff. So really read your labels, okay? Again, I cannot emphasize enough. If you're in Europe, you have the European Food and Safety Authority, which is screwing you up over in Europe. So really read what you're doing and start growing your own herbs and create an underground economy in Europe with herbs. Since they banned them, well, do it under the table. What can I tell you? All right. Until the next segment here.
Back to the instructions. That's a nice...
Well, it's true. I mean, you're going to start using a herb that we've had for centuries and millennia. Oh, you can't sell herbs no more in Europe. Well, what the hell's wrong with who came up with this brainchild? Yeah. And then they're going to transfer that over here in Canada, United States? I don't think so. So, you know, honestly, grow your herbs, start trading seeds, swapping seeds. So you Romanians, start swapping seeds with the Bulgarians. You Bulgarians, start swapping seeds with the Germans. You Germans, start swapping seeds with the Poles. You Poles, start swapping seeds with the Italians. You Italians, start swapping seeds with the Africans. You Africans, start swapping seeds with the Brits. Start the seed swapping, you know, and tell them what you think about the European Food and Safety Authority. That's my opinion on that they're going to ban herbs because they're from China. I've used Chinese herbs for 25 years. I'm still here. I'm not dead. I didn't get abducted by an alien because I used a Chinese herb. I didn't get raptured. No, I'm still here. You know, nothing wrong with Chinese herbs, nothing wrong with Ayurvedic herbs. Okay? Nothing wrong with Mediterranean herbs. But for some reason now, those are bad guys. Ooh, them are the bad guys now. Ooh, today. Tomorrow will be somebody else. So use the herbs, use the stuff from China. I don't have a problem with it. Chinese stuff works good too if you know how to use it. So there you go. Another segment. Till the next segment, see ya.